Hi, 8th graders. So Mr. Dowd and I are here at Thompson Park, right off Butler, here in West St. Paul. And we are going to give you a tour of the park and how they have done a restoration project here to make sure that Thompson Lake has some good water quality.
All right, so if we look in the background, you kind of get a view of this. Obviously, we're in a neighborhood now, and on your website, you talked about in the 60s there wasn't much issue with the water quality because all that water was getting filtered and we didn't have the sort of residential non-point source pollution. If Ms. Schmidt pans in, you can see the storm sewer, the big storm sewer at the far end. That's where all the water from all the streets in the watershed of Thompson Lake end up. Before that comes actually into that storm sewer, Mrs. LaPointe will tell you what happens.
All right, so before it comes in there, there's this thing that's kind of like a skimmer. And if you were able to get on the website, you might have read about it or seen they have a little video. But there's this machine, and it spins really, really, really fast on the inside, and it collects things like sediment and different debris and maybe some road salt that comes into this machine. And all of the heavy stuff, like the sediment and debris, will spin down to the bottom and collect at the bottom, and then the clean water can come out of it and go back into the pond. And then they can pull out that sediment and take it away, and so it doesn't come into the pond and contaminate.
Okay, and then that water coming into, they call this a forebay. Basically, it gets another chance to anything that might be contaminants that we don't want into the main Thompson Lake. Another chance for that to settle into the bottom before it goes under this hiking trail and into the estuary.
All right, guys, so now we are at this little estuary wetland here, and the water has traveled from the storm pond over there, and it's coming into this estuary before it flows into the lake. And if you remember, and you're reading from the website, that this area was actually dug up. And those of you that live around here might have seen the construction happening. I think it was going on last year or the year before, where they actually had to lower the water level in here and dig up all of this sediment because there is this carcinogenic toxin that was leaching into the soil from, there's like a tar runoff coming in. So the asphalt that you would use for driveways had this cancer-causing chemical in it, and that was starting to drain into the lake, and that was contaminating the sediment that was in this part of the lake. So a company had to come in and take up all that soil and get rid of it so that we would have healthy water, healthy sediment, and healthy animals in here.
Okay, and the estuary itself is really important because we talked about the sediment getting filtered out in the skimmer that's up there. As it flows into the forebay, it settles more. And some of those plant nutrients, the chemicals, the nitrates and phosphates, do not get filtered out necessarily. And this estuary has lots of both land plants, terrestrial plants, and also aquatic plants that are absorbing some of those nitrates and phosphates. They're growing, but in the meantime, they're also keeping it out of the main lake. Ms. LaPointe and I are going to go into now the main body of Thompson Lake, and we're going to try to pull out some aquatic invertebrates. And aquatic invertebrates are a real easy way to get a snapshot of the health of an ecosystem like Thompson Lake. And we'll get more into that, but the diversity of those creatures might indicate very high water quality or improved water quality. Years ago, when we'd pull creatures out of here, it was mostly the same thing. It was worms, leeches, maybe a couple crayfish, and a couple of snails. We're hoping the diversity's gone way up as an indication that the water's becoming clean.
We're gonna use this thing, which is a big, huge net called a seine net. All right, ready?
You didn't want to go into this. Why don't I go out first?
Okay.
Steve, quick, kids.
Oh.
Hold on 1 second. All right, we're ready? I don't want to go too much higher, and whenever you're wearing waders, you don't want to go above the waders because they become sinkers.
You guys could do this as your real job if you ever wanted to go to school to be a biologist, by the way.
Okay. We're going to need to get a little wet here. We're going to get, when we want to really get, I'm going to have to get pretty wet. We're going to want to get underneath and really pull that pole across.
Are you going to unroll?
We're going to go all the way over here. So keep walking towards me. And you can keep the pole down and get some of that muck and stuff. And then when we get to the shoreline, we're going to bring it up and we'll kind of pull through the creatures. We hope. Or maybe we get nothing. Let's keep it kind of apart, both of us, and we'll try to pull up a little bit like this. And if you can grab sort of this net here. We didn't get much.
We got some minnows though.
Okay, so
A lot of minnows.
let's see where we're at. Let's pull it up. Let's pull it up. There are a few things in here. We're going to have to get a little bit more sediment the next time. So let's just pull it up and take a peek.
Try to make it smaller enough to just do a sediment.
All right, interesting. So let's spread this out a little bit. Yeah, do you want to just put it? We'll put a little water in there, but you have a little bit as far as there's a sunfish minnow, and then a lot of, hard to say on this minnow. I see some sunfish. I'm not quite sure actually on this. Almost looks like a shiner to me, but I'm not positive. But we have a few different types of fish in the minnows. Do you know Miss LaPointe on this?
Nope, not a clue.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that one. But this is very much healthy just with the fish population. And then if we take a look here, this cannot breed in polluted water. So what this is actually is a dragonfly larva. And you can see it's crawling around, it's alive, it's got big eyes. One thing that's really cool about a dragonfly larva is in this state, it has a huge mouth part like that it goes through the water, and it will actually grab little tiny fish. It will grab possibly little what we call scuds, which are almost little shrimp, freshwater shrimp, as it goes about. And it has a hydraulic system. Here's another one. Different species of dragonfly larvae. So anytime you get a different species, it's important. So those are two different types of dragonfly. Lots of minnows. We're going to release these back in. We're going to go and we're going to take another big swath and we're trying to get a little bit more of that sediment and a little bit more of the aquatic vegetation, and I think we'll see a bit more. All right.
Well, we got some glitter. That's great.
Okay, here. This is really cool. So, this guy right here is a water scorpion.
Oh, nice.
If you take a look at him, he almost looks like a stick insect. But he shoots through the water, and definitely a predator in the water. And also, they need to be in good water quality. Same as these little water boatmen here. These are water boatmen. So you're looking at, when I'd come out with classes 20 years ago, we didn't have any diversity. We had a few crayfish, some worms, leeches, etc. Now you're getting a lot more diversity. That indicates the health is improving. Here's another different species, a little green species of dragonfly. You can see all the water boatmen on there. But that water scorpion's cool. We'll get him in the bucket. What do we got? There'll be stuff in here, in all this.
Here's a guy.
Lakeweed.
Water boatman. Here.
And if you kids were here, you have better eyes than I do, so you'd probably see more. Oh,
Oh my
no, I'm just kidding, kids. We're fine. Just a little another dragonfly larva.
Here's some kind of nymph, I think.
Oh yeah, look at that. That's a mayfly larva, and mayflies actually need to be in very clean water to breed. And here is a really important point about Thompson Lake. First appearances, it's a fairly muddy lake, so there is some sediment concern still, but the water itself, even though it looks dirty at times, is getting much cleaner each year with the improvements they've made.
Yeah, there's more mayfly.
Okay, and here's a pouched snail, which also need to be in fairly clean water.
A lot of mayfly larvae.
More dragonfly larvas. We got mayfly larvae in here, which is a huge indication of the health of the water system.
Ooh, this guy's cool. Is this just another dragonfly?
Yeah, another dragonfly.
Ah. So this is baby dragonfly. Pretty cool. Bet you guys didn't know that they lived in the water.
Oh, there's a little sunfish again. And we'll be releasing all those back. All right, bunch more dragonfly larvae. But obviously over the years, if I look at this, the lake has become cleaner just based on what can grow and breed within the water. All right, so if you've seen the big green darner dragonflies, the big, huge green ones, this is the larva. This is what it looks like when it hatches out of the egg, and then this is a huge predator that swims through the water. In fact, like an octopus, it has jet propulsion. So it takes water in, squirts it out to locomotor to move forward. But this type of dragonfly larva, good indicator that the health is improving in the water too. So super cool. See that? Watch the jet propulsion. We should have a little bit bigger, but you can see them shooting like that. They're squirting water out of their abdomen to move. Really cool.